Welcome students. Today I am explaining you about the reproduction and modern technology. Students, last session we learned the menstruation cycle scientifically. Today we are going to learn the reproduction and modern techniques or modern technology. Which modern technologies the couples in the society which have no child or many couples cannot have children due to some reasons because of the, in case of women, irregular menstruation is there, irregularity in the menstruation and different difficulties in the oocyte formation and obstacles in the oviduct and absence of sperms in case of males and slow movement of sperms that we call as the, in case of males, the movement of the sperms are very slow. At that time, there are difficulties to fetus development, and that is why sperm bank and in vitro formation and surrogacy, these are the different types of technologies which are used nowadays. Students, many people cannot have a child because of these reasons. I told you about that reasons, because of the difficulties in the oocyte production, because of the difficulties in the irregular menstruation cycle, because of the absence of sperms or the slow movements of sperms, and in such cases, the modern technology is used. So, in this lecture, I am explaining you the advanced medical technologies which is used in this new generation or new era. The first technology, modern advanced medical technology, is in vitro technology, IVF. In abbreviation, it is also called as IVF. IVF. The abbreviation is IVF, and the long form of that in vitro fertilization, that is fertilization inside the test tube. Look at the diagram. I have drawn the diagram here. Test tube. The fertilization takes place in a test tube. See, this is the diagram of ovum. This is the inner lining of the ovum. This is the outer lining of the ovum, and ovum is the female germ cell and sperm is the male germ cell. And in this technology, with the help of micropipette, the sperms are injected inside the ovum for the fertilization. That's why this technology we also call as the test tube baby technology, because the fertilization takes place inside the test tube with the help of this technique. So students, what is in vitro fertilization? The fertilization IVF technique in which the fertilization is brought about in the test tube and sperm is injected into the ovum using the micropipette. See, this is the micropipette. This is the micropipette, and sperms are collected with the help of that micropipette, and in the laboratory, time to time, this experiment is performed, and at one time that is the successful formation of a male germ gamete and female germ gamete, that is called as the in vitro fertilization. The embryo is formed after the fertilization. In this, the embryo is formed. What is embryo? Embryo is the first stage after the fertilization of male gamete and female gamete in a test tube. The embryo is formed and that embryo is implanted in the uterus of a woman at the appropriate time. Students, during the fertilization, the embryo is formed and that embryo in an appropriate time implanted in the uterus of that female, uterus of that woman, and that we call as the IVF. The childless couple who have the problems like less sperm count in some males, the sperms are less, that we call as the less sperm count, and obstacles in the oviduct in case of females, there is an obstacle in the oviduct. At that time also in vitro fertilization is used. In vitro fertilization, the first advanced medical modern technology about the reproduction is called as the in vitro fertilization, that we call as the IVF. And the couples who have no child can use this technology. This technology is very expensive, students, and the childs of the in vitro fertilizations are also very clever. No doubt modern technology is for the convenience of man, but modern technology is expensive, but this is the advanced medical technique for many people who cannot have the child. And that's why the second technique of modern advanced technology is, look at the diagram given in your textbook 3.23. The diagram in your textbook 3.23. Look at that picture. Whenever you see the picture, your photogenic memory is very strong and you remember the picture or a diagram at the time of examination, students. See, the pregnant woman have given in that picture, and alongside the couple is standing. That couple have not child. That couple cannot have a child, and that is why they adopt this technology, use this technology. Some women have problems in implantation. Students, surrogacy is the modern medical technique of reproduction in case of females whenever there is obstacles in the oviduct. Last period, we learned that in the oviduct, the sperm goes and fertilization takes place. Whenever there is obstacle, whenever there is a barrier or obstacle, at that time, in case of women cannot able to be a pregnant, and if some women have problems in the implantation of embryo in their uterus, every embryo development is inside the uterus, and such women can take the help of modern remedial technique, and that modern remedial technique is called as surrogacy. And that mother whose uterus is taken temporarily for the development of that embryo, and that mother is called as surrogate mother. That mother is said to be the surrogate mother, and surrogacy modern medical technique is used if women have the problems in implantation of embryo. Students, oocyte in this technique, the oocyte is collected from the ovary of a woman, and that oocyte is again fertilized in a test tube. The fertilization of male and female gamete takes place. that is the ovum or the oocyte and sperm, and here the embryo is formed inside the test tube, and after that, with the help of injection, that oocyte is fertilized oocyte, but the sperms are collected from her husband only, and not from the sperms. The women have a problem, but male have no problem for the reproduction and the sperms. That is why in such cases, in that women have the problems, but male have no problem. In that cases, the oocyte from the females taken in a test tube in a laboratory, and then the sperms are also collected from her husband. The woman is not able to implant the child, and that woman's female reproductive system, from the ovary, the oocytes are collected, and her husband's sperms are collected in a laboratory, and fertilization takes place there, and the oocyte is fertilized in test tube with the help of sperms collected from her husband, and the embryo is formed, and such embryo is implanted in the uterus of some other woman. Look at the picture. Some other woman is for some other woman, if she is ready to grow the embryo 9 months and 9 days, and then give birth to the child, and given to that child to that parents, that is called as the surrogacy. And such a woman whose uterus is used for the embryo implantation, that woman is called as surrogate mother. Temporarily the uterus is taken, the woman's uterus, which is the different woman, and there is no family relation, but occupation is there. In a high profile society, this technology is also used to carry the embryo for 9 months and 9 days, and after that, such a woman whose uterus is taken for the embryo development, and that is a contract between that couple, childless couple, and that woman, that we call as the surrogate mother or the surrogacy. And this technology, students, we call as surrogacy. Childless couple have a child with the help of this advanced medical technique. In the examination, you have to write the names of advanced medical techniques and the scientific method of this technology. The third modern technology is called as the sperm bank or semen bank. Students, sperms are the male gametes. Sperms are the male germ gametes, and oocyte or ovum is called as the female gamete. And at the time of fertilization, the male gamete and female gamete fertilize, unite to each other to form a zygote, and after the repeated cell division, the zygote is converted into the embryo, and further the embryonic development takes place 9 months and 9 days, and which is the time is variable from woman to woman. The couples, in that couples, the males have a problems of sperm production or the less count of sperms. At that time, students, you know the blood bank of Red Cross Society or any other society or any other institute where the blood is collected, and like our money's bank, the blood banks are there, and whenever you need, any person need the blood, we go to the blood bank and take the blood, and someone's life is saved by that blood. Like that, the couples who have no child, or the we call as the childless couple, can use this technology. They go to the sperm bank. In that sperm bank, the name of the many males go to that sperm banks and submit their sperms at the medical checkup. After the medical checkup and physical fitness, the sperms are taken and preserved in that laboratory. And whenever the test tube baby technology have the sperms, then they go to the sperm bank and collect the sperm or the semen, the substance in during the intercourse, the substance is released from the penis, that is called as the semen, and that semen is collected, and in that semen the sperms are present, and sperms are taken for the reproduction. There are various problems in the sperms reproduction and maintain over in case of many men, so as to have a child. In such a cases, new concept is there, and that we call as the sperm bank. You might have familiar with the seed bank and blood bank and money bank, but in this science and technology, the modern medical technology about the reproduction is sperm bank. The concept is similar to the blood bank. Semen is ejaculated by the desired male and collected after through the physical medical checkup, and then stored in the sperm bank with all the parameters of that laboratory. And as per the wish of needful couple, the needy couple go there and collect the sperms. This I am explaining you, but this technology is under the observation of doctors and under the consult of doctors only, that we call as the gynecologist, and that suggests this modern technology. As per the wish of needful people, whose side of the woman is concerned with that couple is fertilized by IVF technique. Again, these sperms are collected and IVF technique is used. Again, the oocyte from the women are healthy and no problem of the female reproductive system, but in case of males, there is a problem of sperm production. The sperm bank is used, and after that, in a laboratory, in a test tube, the fertilization takes place, and then that embryo is taken and implanted in the uterus of the same woman, but the name of the semen or the name of the sperms is strictly kept secret, students, according to the law. As per the law, the males which donate the sperms, the names of that women kept, the names of that males which go to the sperm bank and by their desire give the sperms or the semen in that sperm bank, the names are strictly kept secret. Nobody can expose the name of the men there, where the sperms are collected, by which person the name is very secret as per the law. And that is why nowadays many couples, from 10 couples, 3 to 4 couples are using this technology, because there are the obstacles. Then you remember the 3 technologies, that in vitro fertilization, surrogacy, and sperm bank. The next topic is twins. Twins, the 2 embryos, twins means 2. The two embryos are developed simultaneously in the same uterus that we call as the twins. Students, that we call as the twins. When two embryos develop simultaneously in the same uterus and two offsprings are formed, and by in case of delivery, whenever the two offsprings are delivered at the same time, that we call as the twins. You are familiar with the twins? Yes or no? Yes. The types of twins are monozygotic twins and dizygotic twins. The twins are of two types, monozygotic twins and dizygotic twins. Students, mono means one and di means two. See what happens? Monozygotic. Zygotic means zygote. During the early period of embryonic development, within the 8 days of zygote formation, when the zygote is formed in the early days, from 1 to 8 days, when the fertilization takes place and zygote is formed, the male-female gametes are fertilized in that month, and at that time, during the early period of the embryonic development, a single embryo can divide into two groups and develop into two embryos. See, this is the embryo, and during the early stages of the embryo is divided into two embryos separately, and that is why the two childs or the two fetus are formed, and that we call as the twins in the early development of the embryology. See, this is the zygote or the embryo, and embryo is divided into two similar parts, and each part grows separately, and that is why single embryo divide into two groups and develop into two separate embryos, and that we call as the twins. What is monozygotic? Monozygotic may exactly similar, genetically exactly similar to each other, hence their appropriate as well as the gender is also same. It may be both the babies are male or both the babies are female. The gender is also exactly same of that twins. And in some cases of monozygotic twins, the monozygotic twins, both the twins are jointed also with the help of some organs, and that we call as the conjoined twins or Siamese twins or co-joint twins. In case of monozygotic, co-joint twins are also formed, but this is the rare case. Co-joint twins are rare cases, and in that cases, some organ of the body is joined. If the head is both head are joined, both stomachs are joined, any other organ is joined, and that is why that monozygotic twins are called as co-joint twins. Called as co-joint twins. Then dizygotic, two oocytes are released. Here in monozygotic twins, only one oocyte is there, and that only one oocyte after the fertilization, the embryo divides into two equal parts. But in dizygotic twins, two separate oocytes are there. Two separate oocytes. Di means two. Two separate oocytes. Two separate oocytes unite with the two separate sperms coming from the vaginal passage up to the fallopian tube, and fertilization takes place, and that is why called as the dizygotic twins. Di means two, and Occasionally, when two oocytes are released, sometimes in rare cases, two oocytes are released at a time and two sperms combine to form the zygote after the fertilization, and two embryos are formed from two separate zygotes, and both embryos are separately implanted in the uterus, same uterus. This development of monozygotic twins are in the same uterus, and the development of both the dizygotic twins are in the same uterus. In the same uterus, that we call as the dizygotic. Zygote means after the male and female male gamete unite to form a zygote. That is why called as the zygotic. Zygotic. After the fertilization, zygote is formed, and then after the zygote, repeated cell division, embryo is formed, and that is why. Remember the terminology. Why called as the zygotic? Because of the zygote is most important part in embryological studies. Students, two embryos are formed from two zygotes, and both those embryos grow separately and implanted in the uterus, and thus the dizygotic twins are delivered after the complete embryonic development, and such twins are genetically different, one male, one female, or both of male, females, or different genetic genders are there. Genetically, they are different, and they may have the same or different gender also. They may have the same genders or different genders also. That we call as the dizygotic twins. Students, the next topic is reproductive health. Students, you better understand the modern advanced technique of reproduction, and if you understand the modern advanced medical techniques, write in a chat box if you are understand well. The next topic is reproductive health. Students, according to the WHO, a person's complete well-being, physical, mental, social strongness is called as the health. According to the World Health Organization, the person's completely physical, mental, social well-being of a person is called as the health. But in our country, there seems to be a lack of awareness regarding to the reproductive health. In our India, there is a hesitation to speak such type of examples, such type of subject, and that is why the sexual education, male-female reproductive system, and the modern techniques are given from 9th standard student. Don't be hesitate. Do the study scientifically, either boys or girls. That is why menstruation cycle is also given in our textbook. Students, like our social customs and traditions and illiteracy and shyness is there in our society. That is why in our country there seems to be a lack of awareness of regarding. That is why given the sexually transmitted diseases. Occurrence of menstruation cycle is very important in case of the reproductive health of female, and overall health of women depend upon the menstruation cycle. And nowadays the women are working at par with the men, and due to this they have to stay outdoors for whole day in a school or in a job places. At that time bleeding occurs during the menstruation cycle, and due to this the private organs, that may be the penis or vagina, that private organs or genitals should be maintained clean time to time. Otherwise the problems regarding to the reproductive health may arise. Some problems regarding to the reproductive health may arise in men's too, in women's also, and in men's also. The reproductive health is very important, student. So it is essential to maintain the cleanliness of your genitals. Otherwise, there may be the chances of infection, and various sexual diseases are also be affected by that person. That is why time to time, among the various sexual diseases, you have to learn about the syphilis and gonorrhea. Student, these are the diseases occurs by the infection through the reproductive organs, and that diseases are called as syphilis and gonorrhea. Syphilis and gonorrhea. These are the diseases called as syphilis and gonorrhea, and that may affect the reproductive health, and at that time this is the bacterial infection. Syphilis and gonorrhea is the bacterial infection. To avoid the bacterial infection, one should have the cleanliness and hygienic habits are very important. During your bath, clean the genitals, and in case of these diseases, syphilis, the painful burning sensation during the urination, when the person suffers from the painful burning and sensation during the urination, and that we call as the syphilis or gonorrhea symptoms. During the urination, the oozing of pus through the penis or the vagina also takes place. These diseases are concerned with both males and females, and inflammation of urinary tract, anus, throat, eyes are the symptoms of gonorrhea, and no doubt both of these diseases are caused by the bacteria. These are the bacterial diseases. Bacterial diseases. So students, you should have the awareness. Now you are matured. You are very matured, and you learn scientifically the diseases like syphilis and gonorrhea and menstruation cycle, male reproductive system, female reproductive system, modern techniques. That is why you should take care of don't be hesitate to discuss with your parents if you have any infection about in case of urinary tract. So cleanliness is very important. Don't be hesitate to discuss in such subjects, and that is why awareness level should be increased in our India, and that is why given and I explain in details to you. Students, remember and take the homework. Take the homework and write the homework. Today's date 7th October. Question number 1 to question number 5. You have to write in your homework notebook. Students, next time we start the environmental management.